Towards the end of the day, VIX kind of jumped, but within range. Nothing out of This is nothing out of the ordinary. We kind of know this pattern in and out, but right now let's jump into futures. Yeah, so futures, and we know this. This is normal market function, goes up and comes right back into its mean, trying to hit its mean right here, bounce in. But this time looks like it will come back in again, break the mean, and go down here, 42.35. And if it can't bounce here, I think it will push back into this number, 42.18, then probably 4200. It will come back into that number right about here. Probably will kind of test lows of the day, most likely. Uh, yeah, so uh, probably not. Yeah, so probably it will come back into the lows of the day and test these lows again. If it happens overnight session, good enough for us. Even if not, even if it doesn't do that, it kind of it kind of I'm I'm thinking that it's going to loiter around somewhere within this range, 42 30 to 42.50 sort of range. And tomorrow, let's see, wait, what are we looking tomorrow? Tomorrow, this thing will play a big role. Numbers were really good. Look at the beat. Fuck. That's good. Right. So obviously hitting the resistance, coming back in. So expecting it to hit this 42.33, break that, push into this number. Expecting this to happen overnight. Probably not all the way through here, perhaps, but still, this is the range that we're looking for. From about here, just 42.34 to 42.50. This is the range that I'm looking for this futures to be within. So, but in fact, if it break the mean on the 4 hour, probably it will go back and test 42.18. Let's pull up the daily futures, daily. If it were normal circumstance, right? And this is the candle that we were looking for, and we got that whole damn thing. The base case, the good to have, and then then some. But I was looking for a little bit further upside, did not happen. Most likely, Apple couldn't push any further than what it did during the session. But if it were to be normal circumstance tomorrow, you could have looked for a hit of 42.84 and most likely push into this number again, right? But these are not regular circumstance. So tomorrow, maybe 42.82 again. That would be this is where I'm expecting it to push into 42.80 to 42.70. This level has been acting as pretty solid resistance throughout, and a good test of that number. Again, if it clear that number, probably push into this number 4300. Not really plotting anything beyond that right now. Uh, 42.57. This is where we are. Again, if it clears here, then we're looking for a push into 42.80. If that clears, we're looking for a push into 4300. Not plotting anything beyond that right now. The downside, again, 42.26. And not really plotting anything beyond that to the downside right now. This is where it is 42. This is the range, 42.30 to 42.50. But if that breaks below, then we're looking for a push into 42.16. And if that breaks below, we're looking for a push into 41.84. As of now, not really plotting that. 42.34 is the base case, and the good to have to the downside would be 42.16. This is how I want to play this range if I were to be trading futures. This scenario might change overnight, but by and large, if everything else equal, this is how it would be. Let's open up the weekly. Weekly is still pointing down. Weekly chart is still pointing down. And per weekly chart, 4177 is a very good possibility. And that number is coming from this super trend here, the old super trend right about here. So this is still a very good possibility, 4171. If that hits or if that breaks, we are looking for now all the catalysts are gone that could have saved the market. Now that the earnings behind us, or at least the major earnings behind us, we are looking for if it comes into 4180, then we are looking for a push into 4,000. But right now, not really plotting that. Right now, not really plotting that. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow during the session, might that all of that might change depending on this guy. Blowout numbers, dividend increase, what is that called? Buyback increase. So, it's everything is good, but markets being markets, uh, I don't believe that but they're going to take it lightly. That but once the earnings are done, it is done pretty much. And I think I did not see what their guidance was like. The guidance I think came in a little softer than expected. I think that's the reason the stock came back down from what 169 or something, or rather close to 170. I think it was hitting 169.99 if I'm not mistaken. But then guidance came in a little softer than expected due to chip. Well, I don't really know what he said on the call, but I think that was the reason that it came down. And again, this is the line that you need to be watching for Apple. This has touched that line, bounce off of that, will come back into that line. Just because of earnings, we kind of stalled that eventual, fate. I think tomorrow probably an ephemeral bounce in the morning or something like that. But then it has to come back into this number and test that number. This time, if it breaks that number, which is about 154, then we're looking for a push into 152. And if 152 breaks, we are looking for a push into 144. This is how it will proceed. And if it pushes to the upside, and the upside is capped around 170 or rather 168. Upside is capped around 168, somewhere around this number. And right, so just about mm, not even 168, probably about here. Tomorrow the upside should be capped around here, 167.70 per the daily mean. It is as the way that the markets reacted after the earnings. I believe that tomorrow is Apple is going to sell off. Most likely, Apple going to come down into 159, whatever this number is. As this number, and if it bounces here, look for an ephemeral bounce or a push down back into this number. And probably if the sell off intensifies tomorrow, then we'll come back into this number. Most likely ephemeral bounce here. Then probably next week push into this number. Let's see how that plays out. Upside is capped. So if I have to plot to the upside, I don't know where it closed, but let's see where it closed. It hit that. It came right back in. Ah, look at that fucking thing. 169, 160, 170 almost. All right. So 153, it came back below 153. Wow. Now this already happened, all of this. Nonsense. So this is 153.50. So right about broke below that. Wow. Actually broke below that. Nice. So 153, somewhere around here, it came below this number actually and started to push back up, and it closed around where did it close? 160.10. Okay, so let's see if it starts to push back up. Right now, it's sitting above the mean on the daily, sorry, on the hourly. So if it starts to push up 161, then to the upside, the base case should be 163.40. Probably good to have would be 164 60. This should be good to have. So in the short term, this should be it. This should be it if you're trading, the short term. 161, and then a push into probably 163.20. And if that clears, then we'll look for 164.77. Sheesh. Yes. Look at that doji. Damn. Right. So, yeah, this is how I want to play Apple: 161.14 and probably 162.60, and then probably a push into this number right here, 164.77. How come you use higher time frame to chart the next day, like weekly and monthly? Playing Tesla tomorrow, of course. Playing Tesla tomorrow. So weekly and monthly is where the institutional investor sits, right? These are big position traders. These are big institutional traders. So these are long-term people, right? So it is imperative for us to look at what the long term is saying. Look at the doji here, right? The doji started here: Jan doji, Feb doji, March doji, April is also doji, right? So you're seeing that this is very indecisive. So most likely, the way that it is forming, the average is forming, it is most likely starting to build the momentum to the downside. So most likely it will start to come back in. And yeah, 150, then probably 141. So I'm almost certain that when the market starts to roll over, I mean this Apple earnings was the one that was holding whatever left that tech, wherever tech was, that Apple and Microsoft, basically those are the two that people were looking to anchor the markets to the upside, and they did deliver better than expected numbers, both of these companies. And yet I think it's going to be an issue. It's going to be issue. Let's see how this plays out tomorrow. My immediate reaction for Apple as of now is to the downside, but that is just an opinion. That doesn't have anything to do with what or how am I going to be playing Apple. So this is the chart I would be watching, and I'd be playing Apple based on 5 and 15. That's just how I do things, because I think that's much cleaner to deal with. Yep, yep, yep. Long-term time frame equals long-term money. Yep, that is true. Playing Tesla, of course, we are playing Tesla. Okay, so let's jump into Tesla. Tesla was a great freaking day today. Great, absolutely killer trades today. This was, pretty much sitting there. We wanted this to happen, it happened. We wanted this to happen, it happened. Then some. That was amazing. I just, really great trade. I wanted to play it to the upside, but didn't get it. So I got stopped out somewhere around 540, something like that. And then it started to push down. Then I caught this trade again because I saw this line getting hit and breaking. Then I thought, I'm going to get involved in this thing a little bit further. So I got involved in that and paid pretty decent. And I was kind of fearful that it's going to go down into this number today itself, 760. Thankfully, did not happen. But that would have been, there would have been some real issues had Tesla come back into its monthly mean. But it will come in. But it will come into its monthly mean. Uh, why? Right. So Tesla, again, this is still 1 day worth of price action, but the week is still pointing down. So I'm expecting that, if Apple starts to push back in, and then we'll see Tesla back into 863, and then back into 850, and probably break that, and probably push into that, coveted 813 number. But as of now, not really plotting anything beyond or below 850. Again, if it breaks below 850, then we are again looking for the same number right about here, 838. And most likely, if the selling intensifies, then we are looking for a push into 780 and 770, 780. Majority of the market participants, they are watching the same exact number as we are, the mean on the monthly. So look out for that. And last time we bounced off of this number right here. We caught this bounce pretty much all the way through here, I think. Yeah, this was a pretty good trade. So right now, if it comes back into, not if, when, when it comes back into this number, expecting a bounce here, of course, it will bounce here again. 770, 775 looks like a number that it's going to hit, regardless. Just a matter of Apple coming down now. The moment you see Apple coming down, Tesla will start to push down hard. 770 is the number pretty much everybody's watching. If that hits, I'll probably look for a bounce, but not in a straight line. Bounce here, then probably push back into the lows of the day from here today. And if that breaks, then we're looking for a push into this 773. This number is a number that almost everybody is watching. And if that breaks, it will be trouble. But then this is where we are pushing down, and it's not going to stop here this time. It will most likely push down into this number, 680 or something. Let's see how that plays out. And yeah, and where's that? And Tesla is one of those companies which is yet to come back into this number here, right? Tesla is yet to visit this number. It sounds like a weird thing to say if I'm saying Tesla 200, but yeah, this is still, yeah, this whole thing, I'm expecting it to actually come back at least into this number, but not in a straight line again. But this will happen. This will happen, or at least till the time the sell off is done, 550 to 520. This it will test this number. And let's go back on the monthly time frame. Well, yeah, out here, and this is about here. I think there's a good bit of downside for Tesla. Just not yet, but I do believe there's a good bit of downside for Tesla. And am I looking to play that downside right now? Nope, I'm not. But I am waiting on this right here to cross. Just like majority of the market participants, I am also waiting on MACD to cross over, and then we are gonna go push into 770s. That should break 760s. That should break 690. That should break. We're gonna push into 590. So this has to happen for Tesla. There's just no other go. This has to happen. Uh, Looking at the PE, 119 PE. Well, so besides, something like an Amazon, I don't believe anything else can enjoy that kind of PE numbers. Even PE for this thing, Amazon is about 42 now. So yeah, Tesla is exceptionally overpriced, at least according to the numbers. But it is what it is. People pay that money. They will pay that multiple for whatever reason. Yeah. So it is what it is. Never go against the trend. So, but logic says it has to come back down, and there will be a time it will start to come back down, and most likely that time has already started. So let's see how that plays out. And Tesla on the daily, and yeah, so 900 to the upside, and this is the if it starts to come back up, and this is where it should come back into 900 to the upside. This is my base case to the upside, and if that clears, then looking for 915 and probably 936 should be it. Not really plotting anything beyond 936 at this moment. To the upside, to the downside, we know what's going to happen. We plotted to the downside. This is how the downside looks like. Probably, downside base case is 863. Again, this is the EMA on the weekly, and below that, the next EMA is 850. So looking for that to the downside, the base case, and if that breaks below, we're looking to push into today's lows. And should that break, then we are looking for push into 770s. Uh, yeah, and most likely, if Apple starts to push down, then Tesla will provide the sentiment. It will sour the sentiment for the whole market. Probably a good another 10% to the downside will not surprise me at all. And this is the chart again. This is my anchor chart. This is a chart that I will be looking at to play Tesla or whatever that is. This is the chart that I'll be looking to play any of that stuff. Volume was pretty decent throughout the day for Tesla, to both to the downside and to the upside. Better than what it was yesterday. And let's see, 41, yeah, increased volume. So yeah, looking for that volatility to continue into probably into next week as well. And anything that could have saved the markets is done now. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, everything is done now. So I don't know what else is there to anchor the market to the upside. Sentiment as is soured, and we're just looking for one more, brick to break, and then the house should come back down, collapsing. When I say collapsing, I don't really mean it's going to be a brutal crash or something. Yeah, it should be a gradual push down, and the numbers that we are watching is here. The SPX, we are looking for a push into. Eventually, we are looking for a push into this number. So this is what it is building up to everything. Right about here, this is the mean 4134. This is what everything is building towards, and it should hit that number. And most likely that should come up about either tomorrow or not really tomorrow. Not really looking for that far down push, but sometimes perhaps next week. Next week it has to come back in to that number. And look at this. I always look at this data, and this has happened, right? So this has happened, and now without any other catalyst to stop this from coming back down, I'm expecting this trend to continue. So let's keep a lookout for that. And this is where it should bounce 4150. Then this is where it should push into 4130, and then probably 4100. With that break, it should push into this number. Right now, not really looking to plot beyond 4000 4000 for SPX, but there's a very good chance that it will start to push through that and come back into 3950. And uh, let's see, this time the FOMC is feeling a little different than what it was last time. Last time it hit that number and bounced, and this time around I'm thinking that it will not bounce. It will not bounce. Most likely it will pierce through this and starts to push down here. So that looks like it. But watch out for this number 4130. Watch out for this number 4130, or whatever this number is. Wherever you see the monthly mean, watch out for that number. And this should be a gradual sell-off, not like so you should be able to find plenty of data points that will be that will let you know that there is a gradual sell-off happening. When I say gradual, it doesn't mean like multi-day sell-off. It just means that you know that there's going to be a sell-off. You will be finding plenty of time to get out or plenty of time to go short. Either which way, you can play that. It would not be like an unannounced sort of sell-off. This will be gradual sell-off. All right, let's see the chat. What is all this? Tesla long-term time frame. Yep. Click on the daily chart. Clear flag. Okay. Selling billions in Tesla on April 26 in Form 4. Nice. Nice. What is the lowest time frame that you watch when trading? What is the lowest time frame here? I'll show you my lowest time frame. This is my lowest time frame, but if I'm actually getting really into that zone where I'm like nothing matters to me, this is where I go down to 30 seconds. So this is if I'm really focused on trading, like revenge trading or something like that. This is where I go down to 30 seconds and try to probably take 3 candles at a time. My rule is 5 candles, but I'll take 3 candles if I'm really focused and keep playing that thing. It doesn't happen often, but yeah, it does happen sometimes.
In other words, don't do that.
In other words, absolutely don't do that. That will crush you. And especially if you're a small account, yeah, it will, a couple of trades like that will burn your account. Not at all to sound like an asshole, but you all with the questions like this, please spend minuscule amount of dollars and scale one. There you go. Yeah. Yep. 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 Can you list all the different indicators that you have there? Brad, you also have the same exact thing. No? Yes. Brad, did we talk? I think so. I think so. If not, yeah, we need to talk about that. ARC, invest, what and about, wow. Wow. Yeah, ARC is getting fucked. Tesla bearish for tomorrow, most likely.
Art
Uh,
move, huh?
yeah, yeah. I have, but I also short-term memory loss. Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Google whenever you have a second. Yeah, same. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Yeah, I'm transferring all my charting from TOS to TV. That makes sense. I tried a nice going chart Amazon hard tomorrow. Should be a good play. Nice. Yeah, let's see Amazon as well. So that's the reason I was playing Amazon, IV, not really the earnings per se. So we are waiting for pre-market for sentiment confirmation. Yes, pretty much. Tomorrow, again, just like today, tomorrow will depend on Apple. And if Apple softens, yeah, that is it. There's nothing saving. There's no more, no more. There's nobody saving anymore, the markets anymore. There's nothing basically. I think, and Tesla is a short. Tesla is short. It's done. Perhaps more or less, Tesla is done. I think, at least in the short term. Uh, nice. What indicator was that? Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. Unmute and talk if you have a question right then and there. We can clarify that one. Now, blue line and red line. Which one are you looking at? I can't figure out. This is MACD. Yeah, there you go. He says MACD. Shan says MACD. Nice. Tag is only one person. Yeah, I think so. Uh, yeah, Clayton did one-on-one. It was scheduled for today, but yeah, we rescheduled. Amazon, Apple sentiment. Yeah, you don't have email lines. No, you do have email lines. We did put it up. Clayton, last time we met, I think we put it up. Oh, no, we did not. No, no, no. Yeah, I remember. We went over time. I know. Yep, I remember. Okay, now, yep. I remember. All right, so Amazon. Let's plot this thing, and nothing, no surprises there. It came back down. Yeah, it had to come back down. It was a miss. So yeah, and this is where I am sitting for Amazon. If it already hadn't hit that, uh, maybe it has already hit that number. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. 26, rather here, right? 25, 25, and no surprises there. Bounce off of that number. So now, expecting the same kind of price action for Apple as well, but in a different manner. But yeah, this is where it came down. It hit that number. It pushed up. Tomorrow, expecting the same to happen. Come back and test this number again. A lot will be riding on Apple tomorrow. If Apple starts to break down, which I'm expecting to happen, probably after an ephemeral bounce, expecting Apple to kind of start to start to come down. And this is the number Amazon will need to test again. And after that, obviously this. Then after that, obviously this. 2400 should happen on Amazon. And there's a good bit of downside for Amazon actually. 2372. Most likely it will stop somewhere around in this range tomorrow, between 24.5 to 23.6. Not really pricing in 23.6 tomorrow, but most likely 25.25 to 24.50. This is the number where I'm expecting Amazon to stop pushing down for tomorrow. And after that, most likely, it should. Uh, yeah, this is where I think it bounced off of. So it bounced hard, actually. It bounced really hard off of that number. Expecting that to happen again, most likely come back in and test this number. But if Amazon, for whatever reason, starts to push back up, just because, if it's this is something like in Boeing, the other day we played Boeing, is the same exact thing, hitting this number and starting to push off. Most likely, then this is where I'm expecting it to push into 27.55 if in fact Apple goes up. If in fact Apple brings the markets along with it, then 27.55 is what we're looking for on Amazon. Uh, Come back down, yeah, about about here. Let's go here, yeah. So this chart is much cleaner. Push down and starting to come back up. If in fact Apple starts to push up, we are looking for a push into 2698, then probably 2740. Not really plotting anything beyond this right now. Most likely, if you want to play Amazon, you want to go down onto this chart, and this is much more realistic. There, come back down, and we all know this pattern, right? Goes back out, comes right in, 5 8. Now you can hit 2707. This should be the case to the upside, and then a hit of 2709, then push into the mean. So this is how it should go. And if it clears, this is the base case to the upside, 2747. If that clears, then we have a shot at 2800. Not really plotting anything like that right now, but this would only happen if Apple says fuck you and starts to push up. So yeah, watch for that. Downside, not man. I'm again. This started. Wow, it's opening up my Firefox and doing its thing. Quick question. So can you check out UVXY? Yep, we'll go through that. UVXY by itself is nothing. Don't you don't really look at UVXY charts as such. You would look at the VIX and then you play UVXY accordingly. Quick question. So I have PDT on Robinhood, but I can still swing trade. Yes, you can still swing trade. Get out of Robinhood. Yes, that's a good advice. I use it now just for dividend and crypto. Nice. If you're using it for dividend, whatever stock that you have in there, I would probably sell that stock and buy the stock in my other account. Crypto, I'm not sure how you want to deal with that, but Jim Cramer said Ethereum, excuse me, Ethereum, what, 40%? So, yep. Okay. And then, yeah, I can't, but if I can find a swing to the downside, yeah, yep, yep. As of this moment, shorting Tesla off its open is the only thing on my watch list. Nice. Elon sold 2.6 billion of Tesla shares. That is a nice. And public, people's wisdom is that's the reason markets are never wrong. The other day, the thing was selling off, and even I was in the camp that was thinking that why would he need to sell his stock on Tesla just to finance that deal? But in fact, it did. So yeah, it came back down brutally. It is what it is. Yep. So that was the reason I think on 26 Tesla came down that hard, and I believe that Tesla will continue to push down harder. Let's see.
Dar,
Yes, sir.
sorry on the Tesla thing. I understand he has to sell, but on the heels of a stock split, I mean, why? Like if your
Stop.
stock's getting ready to split, he's gonna have more shares. I mean, yeah, it's when for me it would make sense to hold on and share after the split or sell after the split, but I don't know, maybe I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to finance a deal for that Twitter purchase, and the stock split is not really happening so quick. It's not. So I think there's still time for that to happen, and there are no
Okay.
guarantees that the stock would go up or whatnot even after the split. I believe that in fact I strongly believe that Tesla will come back down. I do strongly believe that Tesla has to come back down. It's unsustainable, so even after the split, it did what it did. It ran up insane. So I think Tesla stock will have to come back in, probably into those 550 and whatnot. It has to come back and test that number. Right. Okay. So other thing that I'm watching, this is what is I've been watching this thing constantly for the past few weeks actually. Bitcoin is a very good gauge now of the sentiment, risk on or risk off. So this has been a I this used to be a side watch uh, initially, but now it has kind of it's a front and center for me now. Like oil used to be, to gauge the markets or to correlate the markets and trade the markets. Now I am using Bitcoin as such. This used to be on the sideline. This was never like the forefront of me for trading. But now it has pretty much it is showing a very good correlation with the markets. So I've been watching this thing all day long today, and then the moment it started coming back down, markets started to come back down. The moment it started to stabilize, markets start to stabilize, and this is what I'm watching actually. Right. So this is how it is happening. Now, why is that correlation? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Uh, but the correlation is there. There is a bit of correlation, and let's see. That this, but if I can open up, maybe four charts. Let's open this up. USD, and this is yes. So these big candles. 28th April, and this is about 11. And let's open up 28th and see that. So this is exactly what I've been watching this. So not a one-to-one correlation, but yeah, this is pretty indicative of risk on environment, and this seems to be mimicking that. So I'm kind of looking at this as one of the indicators that, or rather, not indicators, but as a gauge of sentiment. This seems to be pretty decent correlation there. It kind of broke here, and if you have futures, let's see futures, right? See that? Came back down, came back down. Now let's see if we can put up SPY there. So it is pushing up, and it is pushing up. It is coming down, and this is coming down. So yeah, there's a bit of correlation going on here. Gotta figure this one out. And I've been watching this thing pretty closely for a few weeks now, and it's been working out. I think there's something there, right? So yeah, so I'll continue to monitor that situation there, and so for now we were looking for. Of course, this is done. No point talking about that. So here is what I'm looking for tomorrow. Again, a try into this mean one more time, simply because the moving averages are pushing up. So everything looks good to the upside. This is also pushing up. So looking for one more green bar here, looking for a push into 40,000. And if this time it kind of clears the 40,000 level and starts to push into 40,500, not much, but still, there's still upside. Looks like it. There's still upside. That clears, and we can push into this number here. But if it can if it if BTC is unable to pass above its mean, I think it will push that again. It will hit that perhaps somewhere in early morning tomorrow. And then if it starts to push back down, then I think the market sentiment will sour along with it. And when you see Bitcoin and Apple coming down, I think that will be a pretty good combination to watch. Apple and Bitcoin, starting to move together to the downside. Then I think we can pretty much front run the markets using that. That's what I'm getting at with these numbers. So yeah, I'll keep a close watch on this one. Netflix and Facebook, these two, of course, this is kind of getting oversold, and it will probably push into 209 if the markets hold. Even if the market doesn't hold, most likely it will kind of push into this number 208 or something like that. This will have to happen. It's way too beaten down, and look at this thing. It has to come back up. But again, wow, look at that thing. And in the long term, this is where it is headed, 140. This is where exactly it is headed. And we will get a bounce around here. But for now, I think in the long term, this is where it is headed. On any sell-off, I think it will keep bleeding to the downside. And it has to, of course, has to kind of resolve its, there you go. Because it was oversold and got resolved, and now it is overbought. So most likely it will come back down again. It will need to resolve this thing, which it is resolving, and need to resolve this thing. Most likely it will resolve it here, or maybe a little bit further. It should hit that number, or the technicals can come down somewhere around 203 or something. It should meet that and get resolved and start to push back down. And this is where it is headed, 140s. And Facebook. Facebook is a very interesting one. We were looking for this push down, like a dumbass. Even I knew it was going to go down. I shorted it, but I could not hold on to that short. I shorted it somewhere around here on the day of Netflix earnings at 2:15, right about here. Should have held on to that into this number, but anyways, it is what it is. Sometimes things doesn't work out the way we want it to work out, and a brutal jump from here. It hit this number to a T, and a brutal jump, and it ate up the shorts. Short covering rally was pretty intense on that, all the way from a 169 to 210, nearly 210. So yeah, that was pretty intense. uh, 40 points. That was pretty intense. And I believe, think if the market holds, it will kind of hit 230. So this is the line in the sand for Facebook. And this will happen only and only if Apple starts to push back into 170s. Otherwise, and no point holding this. And if Apple starts to push down, this will be your prime candidate for shorting. What is the correlation between Apple and Amazon? Nothing. There's no correlation there. Uh, I need all of those scribbles on the screen that you got. Yep, yep, yep. That is the reason we have those technicals. All right, and yeah, so if Apple comes back down, this is my prime candidate to short. Uh, so look for this. Keep looking for a short entry. The technicals, yeah, there are technicals, and probably this will get, and if MACD crossover happens, then you can look for a pretty little bit of push, and probably this is where it should end up. If Apple starts pushing, 233 is where it will end up. Not really plotting anything beyond that as of now. So to the upside, if tomorrow actually pushes up, then this is my base case to the upside. 211 for Facebook is my base case. 211.80, whatever this number is, the 8 on the daily, on the weekly. This is my base case to the upside. Not really plotting anything beyond that. To a T, to a fucking T. Stopped here. Right. So yeah, if it clears here, then this is where it should head into. Should that clear, then this is where it should head into 211.82. Let me put it this way. This should be my base case to the upside. The mean on the daily 209.37. If that clears, then we are looking for a push into the weekly 8. That is pretty much it. And there is good bit of downside if it starts to come back in. 193 is where it is headed. And should 193 break, 191 is where it is headed. Kind of should happen. Should happen. Right now, again, we chart on these time frames, but the time frame that I trade on is right here. So this is the chart that I'll be watching all day long, and this gives me a very clear idea of what is happening on the daily basis. And I trade based on 5 and 15. That's just how it works with me. Okay, and tomorrow the plan is to short this guy, Google. Uh, I mean, you could literally short anything that you want tomorrow, provided Apple comes down. If Apple comes down, you can literally go nuts shorting everything. Tesla, Facebook, Google should be your primary candidates. And I don't know why we keep talking about tech only and only tech. There are plenty of other things that are happening out there, and I think we need to expand that our horizon a little bit further than just tech. For example, this is other one that I was trading the other day. Right? This was a couple of days back. This was the trade of the day for me, and simply I caught this move. That is it. It was a pretty simple move. I hit that. I couldn't short it, but it hit that, and I caught that move about what 11 points, I think, maybe. Yeah, maybe 9 points. I can't remember, but yeah, that was a pretty decent move. So tech is not the only thing. There are plenty of other ones that you can actually play. People are increasingly getting towards consumer staples, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and stuff like that. Coca-Cola earnings, I think they're already reported. So these are the ones that I think now fund managers would be kind of looking to load up on the Cokes and the Pepsis of the world, and because the recession is looming large. Today, the GDP number came in. Well, the expectations were for GDP to shrink, but the market reaction was basically because of the Apple and Amazon earnings, not because of GDP numbers. So let's see how it happens tomorrow. And anything other than these stocks that you guys are watching? Low. Yeah, that's a good one. Oversold and coming up. Shouldn't it actually should not have this one and other one, which was the other one? Costco. These should not have actually had a positive day today. But doesn't matter what. Tomorrow probably it would go into 209 or something. But this is where it should head into 190. This is where it should come back into. And Costco should have done the same thing, but it bounced. It came halfway through to this number, 540. It came right about till 545, and I was expecting it to actually make a full push into 540. This has to happen, and this will happen most likely when when you see tomorrow, maybe when Apple starts to push down. And yeah, this will have to come back in into this number. And towards the end of the day, I think there was a rally in this one as well, but this is where it should come back into. Lows is in the same category here. This bounced right about here, but the expectation was for it to actually continue to the downside. Continue to the downside, actually. But never mind, it is what it is. So tomorrow, if the rally continues, 208, you could expect 208 from lows if the rally continues. This is much better here, 208, and then probably into 211. Not really plotting anything beyond 208 right now. So let it hit the second standard deviation and probably take a breather there. And again, I would be trading the same thing on lower time frames. This is the chart I'll always be watching, the 1 hour chart, and it is starting to kind of give me a downside here. The RSI is starting to come back down, just waiting for average to now start to move down, and probably it should come back into this number. Looking for a bounce around this number, and if it bounces from here, then look for a push into the second standard deviation here. Besides that, for now, it is coming to the downside. Look for a break below the 8 and then test the super trend around 205, 203.50, then push into 203.16. The mean is sitting about here, 202, but this is a very good spot for bounce, 202.82, something like that. So you have 2-3 moving averages sitting within the tight range. So look for a bounce around here. It's getting oversold here, overbought, and the SMI is starting to cross over. So one purple bar, probably look for another purple bar here. That's how I want to play that. QCOM. Let's see, QCOM. This thing is Apple proxy, isn't it? Right? Great numbers. But this is Apple proxy. It doesn't matter what. If Apple comes back down, this will come back down. I think Apple is their biggest or largest customer. So this is Apple proxy. If Apple comes down, this will come back down. And if Apple continues to push, and then it will continue to push into 152, then probably 156, then probably 160, 162, whatnot. But if Apple comes down, there's no chance that this can stand by itself. But it doesn't matter what happens on the higher time frame. We'll still look to play on the lower time frames. Daily, it ran into the super trend to a T, kind of taking a breather there. Earnings came in good. So this is the gap that generally people talk about. There's a gap. This is 138 to whatever this is. So I don't know if that's going to be the thing, but yeah, the technicals are telling you that there's a continued push to the upside. 150, to the upside is my base case. Then good to have would be 1850 to 80. Should that clear, we are clearly hitting this 155 number. But again, the whole thing depends. Just like today, it all depends on Apple. If Apple comes back down, nothing, pretty much nothing can stand. And the sentiment as is to the downside. Start come back down on the lower time frame, and I'm pretty sure on the 1 hour time frame it is starting to form a doji or coming back down. There you go. But overbought, and we know this pattern by now. Gets overbought, starts to come back down, and MACD will give you a clear signal. SMI gave you a signal, one purple bar, and then probably it will hit in here. If it can't bounce here, you're looking for a push into 142 and then 140, 150. This is how I want to play this. And this is the chart that I keep always on, so that you know what is happening on a day, either to the upside or the downside, whichever way it is trending. Crowd is one of those weird ones right now. I'm not really looking to play a crowd at all. But yeah, this is where it needs to come back into. This is a no-brainer. Again, depends on Apple. A lot is riding on Apple. Apple, comes back down. This will hit 195 without a doubt. Without a doubt, it will come back into 195. So one right about here. It is sitting right about here. It should have hit that thing today, but Apple saved the day again. But it has to come back in here. That breaks, and it has to push into here. The MACD is still pointing to the downside. I should play crowd tomorrow. It's been a while that I've played crowd. There you go. And this we recognize this thing gets overbought, comes right back into the mean 1 hour. Get that break below, looking for this, and then probably this. This is how I want to play to the in the short term, but it doesn't matter what, it has to come back here. CRM. When are the earnings for CRM, by the way? It's an earnings play at this moment. It ran super hard today. Nice. CRM. Today rallied about better than 3%. Power of Apple. CRM is trying to push into its mean about here. But if Apple, says no, thank you, then I think there's no freaking way that anybody can move forward. And this should be done pretty much. This move right here should be done. And if Apple crosses, and this should be then your prime candidate to the upside, it should start to push into 189, and then the mean is sitting about 192. So you should be able to get at least a good 9 points out of it. Not really looking for this to cross above its mean, but if it does, whenever it does, then we have a clear shot at 200 again for CRM. Earnings are 19th May. Yeah, let's wait for that. There's a bit of time for that. Nice. It's sitting right here around this number. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Let's see how it plays out tomorrow. Qs might be, yeah, Qs. You should be able to you should be able to play Qs every single day. Qs and SPX. Uh, and Qs are much easier to deal with compared to SPX. And in fact, UVXY is much easier than both of them. So VIX, on the weekly side, VIX, we had a doji here, so doesn't mean much right now. Upside is still intact, so this doji doesn't mean much. So let's see if I can. This is what we are looking for, right? The hit of the 8, and we got that. And after that, markets kind of, VIX kind of rallied. So I was bearish on VIX today. I was looking for this thing to come back into the 5, then push into the 8. This was the base case. This was the base case. So we got that, and it pushed above. So tomorrow, um, my expectation is that VIX, it actually pushed. Okay, so hmm, going by the technicals here, going by the technicals, VIX is kind of starting to point down. So I'm still not bullish on VIX yet. I'm still not bullish on VIX yet. Uh, and I'm kind of still waiting. Uh, I'm kind of still waiting. Not really. Today I was bearish on VIX, but for tomorrow I still haven't made up my mind, or the technicals are not really telling me what. This was clear, right? This everybody knows this. 5 left, and it has to come back into a 5 and come back into 8. Everybody knows this. So now what? So look for a VIX 29.45. Most likely you will get this in the overnight session itself. 29.45, and then if it breaks here, then again we could look for a downside. But if it starts to push up from right here, right, the 5, then we're looking for the upside on VIX again. How much of an upside? I don't know. That is a question that is yet to be seen. Probably, God knows, 34, maybe. I don't know. The conditions are there for VIX to spike, uh, because the catalysts that were keeping VIX down, which were the earnings from big tech, that is done. Something like a Boeing, that is also done. Now, what else? What else is there? So nothing, right? So now the next catalyst is FOMC. And right now, everybody is pricing in a 50 points, 50 bips hike for the from the Fed. So if it is more than 50, right, let's say 75 bips, it's going to be carnage, right? And then yeah, then you are looking at basically SPX for probably 40, 50, or even for 4,000. But if not, let's say 50 bips is pretty much priced in. Let's say 25 bips. So 25 bips is now 25 bips could go either way. What do I mean by that is 25, when if the Fed comes around and says 25 bips for May, then obviously tech will like that. Fair enough, tech will kind of rally on that. But the other side of that thing is, why is that Fed is doing, Fed is dialing back from 50 to 25 bips. What is that? Is the economy not able to withstand a 50 bips hike? Right? What does that mean? Economy is pretty not as strong as the Fed would like to see it. So does that mean a recession is coming? Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. So 25 bips will kind of push down the. I think the yield curve will come back. The 10-year will start to come back down, and if it inverts again, yeah, it will spook the markets again. So that's a yeah, that's not a good situation to be in. Not sure how the markets would react to that. Might be bullish on tech and bearish on industrials, perhaps. But for now, nobody's really pricing in at 25 bips or 75 bips. Right now, I think market is trying to price in, or majority of the market participants are trying to price in a 50 bips hike. Yeah, so that I think that's on the third, right? If I'm not mistaken, third or fourth. Right, that's pretty much it from my side, and the floor is open.
Hey, Darth. Random
Hey,
question.
yes, sir.
Did your brother use your link, or brother-in-law, whoever it was?
Yeah, he did.
Did you get credit for it?
We can't. That's the thing, right? We don't know from where the credit is coming.
No, no, no. He'll be listed under your team.
He is, yeah, he is listed. He is
Oh,
listed. Yeah.
which guy? Which one is it? AF?
AF, yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought that was somebody else.
That was me. So this thing is doing its thing. I'm loving this thing. Look at that.
Is he happy with it so far?
He doesn't even know what the fuck that is. I showed him, the potential and whatnot. He's like, yeah, I'll call you back later. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I approached somebody today that he's been selling Arbonne for probably 2 decades.
Uh-huh.
So he's familiar with MLMs, and
Okay.
he kind of blew me off.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. He basically just told me to call him in a month and tell him my results, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yep. Yep. And the people don't understand this, especially if you're a salaried person, you would not really understand what we are trying to do here.
hmm Oops,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, well, like earlier, Noor was really like skeptical of this, and I was like,
Mm.
um, post your thing, I'll just send you $10.
Then
And
she,
then
yeah.
and then she's like,
Yeah, I
I think it made her
know.
think twice. She's like, why is Ed wanting to send me money? There must be a reason.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then I think she put in like $150 at that point, which
It,
is plenty, plenty. The math on $10 is
amazing, right? Mind
theoretical math on
blowing.
$10, 4 million in a year.
Yeah,
Stupid.
that is
Stupid.
crazy numbers. Those are crazy numbers. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of cap.
Has to
That
be.
that cap has to come in. Look at that. It's making money just doing nothing. I'm just sitting here.
hmm
Watch that thing. If you're watching my screen, that is it. I'm doing nothing here. And it's
Scratching
done
your
that
ass
with,
and making money.
yeah. Yeah. It's done that twice still within this last hour.
What's done? What's done it twice?
Yeah, the script. It runs every
Every
half an
30
hour.
minutes. Yeah.
Yep. So for the past hour, it has done it twice. I'm sitting there and just collecting that. And trust me, Ed, when I'm saying this, the money that I made in the market, it's way more than what is happening right now in this one. But
Me too.
this is way more exciting to me. This is way, way, way more exciting to me than that.
Because you can do everything you normally do while this is making you money
There you
passively.
go. Yep.
It's no thinking, you think one time, you set it up, you put in what you're not willing, what you're willing to donate, basically,
Right.
and let it go.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
thankfully, so far everything's just fine.
Checking out. Yep.
Yeah.
Everything is checking out so far. Nah, no, Tony, you don't really need to clean up anything. This is a very low memory consumption.
Um, the and also Swapnex
Mhm.
seems to be pretty damn good too. You just have to be willing to actually stake your coins.
Right.
But so far, I'm pleased with that as well.
Yep. Yep. Nothing, seeing nothing adverse so far.
Mm-mm.
And believe me, I am looking around on the internet. It's not that I just put my money in there, just sitting and watching it. No,
Oh yeah,
I
me too.
am. There you go. Best thing to do.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. Keep. I do not plan on withdrawing it anytime soon. At least, given at least for a month. So in a
Yeah.
month, whatever you are investing in 27 days, perhaps more likely, yeah, 27 to 29 days, it is you should be able to get your original amount back and have more than that in the system, left in the system, for it to
Mhm.
continue doing what it is doing.
You definitely want to leave as much as you can in
Right.
for as long as you can because that's, you want to feed the compounding. You don't want to starve it. Um, it's a machine and you have to feed it.
Yep.
So,
Yep. 100, no, more than 100, more than 100 per month. The numbers are astronomical, and the numbers check out. Actually, the numbers check out.
mhm.
It's not like that, numbers are, being made in out of thin air or nothing. The numbers
I
actually check out.
I calculated it by hand or using a calculator because I thought there was something wrong with this calculator. I was like, there has to, it can't be right, and it is right.
Yeah.
Um, 1 month, exactly 1 month from right now, April 28th to May 28th, is 188.9%
Yep.
in 30 days. That's at
That's crazy.
3.6%. That's what they're um, claiming.
Yeah.
So
Incredible. Incredible.
I just
say, put it at three. If you just are conservative and put three, then 142.7%.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Look at that thing. It's just doing its own thing, Yeah. Look at that. It's just doing it. And my profit is a 0.177 there. And not too shabby. And on this one, my profit is this 0.27 or whatnot. And there you go. This is all my profits right here. From $9, $4, one, 9 and 9 cents, and done. It's closed. It's done. Fuck yeah. It's done. And the script ran and it's done now.
Yep. The also corn mash. It's not a per month. It compounds daily, so every month it's actually going to be more.
Yeah. Look at this. This is what I made on that transaction just now. Whatever that you guys saw. This is what I made from that $162.
Hmm.
And
that's
my total profits is close to 350 now. And this is what I made today,
That's
150
without
almost.
commissions too.
Yeah.
Your commissions are on top of that.
Yeah. Look at that. Okay, yesterday, when I had 1K in here, this is what I was making per day. Well, now I'm about 5K. This is what I made yesterday, and this is what I made today so far. And I think there's one more cycle left. Of
Lord.
this. Yeah. So one more
Darth.
cycle. Huh?
The CDC has reported the first human case of the Chinese H5N1 bird flu in Colorado.
One more time. No, no, no,
Here we
no.
go.
It starts again.
Here we go. Where the hell did they come up with this shit?
Yes, Tony. 141 today. If you're looking at my screen, look at that. This is the date, 427. I made 160 yesterday just by sitting, and it was not running a full time yesterday. I think, yeah, yesterday night I stopped it because I had to close my PC. Today, again, there's one more cycle left. So I'm expecting another, a good $30 from that cycle too. So far, 359 or about 360. You're in Colorado. Yeah, get ready for that shit show. I don't,
H5N1.
yeah, I don't know which way you guys lean in Colorado, but yeah,
Up.
up.
They lean up.
Always high. Swap next. This is caught PS. That's not swap next. This is caught PS. But
You,
this thing is good.
Rick, you transfer USDT Tether TRC20 from your wallet. Nope, Coinbase doesn't work. Um, Not any crypto wallet. You have to have one that holds TRC20. Um, so far, we've found that FTX is the best because is there no fees or real small fees? Hush,
No fees, actually.
none. Okay, so FTX is the best. However, you have to wait. If you buy it through FTX, you have to wait like whatever it was, 7 days. If you transfer it in, then you can transfer it out. Either that or Trust Wallet, but um, Trust Wallet will charge you a fee.
About 9.8 something. So these are all the
Yeah.
people under me. I don't know how many are actively doing anything. I know Ishan is doing that. I just put my brother money in there. Louis, I'm not sure what's happening with Louis yet. Kit, I don't know how much. I don't really know who is this person. I don't know who is this person. I don't know who is this person. So FTX rebut will take longer, but Trust Wallet is faster.
No,
Come on, get on up.
FTX.us is like freaking minutes, man. It freaking rocks.
Yeah.
And if
Hey,
you're going to sign up for FTX, use Hutch's link because you'll get a discount and he'll make some money too.
awesome, awesome, Ishan. And Big Tuna, Jerry, if you're there, get online. Let me fix up that Python thing for you.
You guys got that down pretty pat.
In fact, we have our Python expert here, tech support. He'll help you out right away.
Who's that, Reeves?
No,
Who?
much. Who else?
Oh, well, yeah.
Expert tech support.
Mm.
Whenever I see him work, right, with code and whatnot, and he says he doesn't really have any experience doing in that field. It's like fucking blows my mind
Yeah, I
all the
know.
time. It's amazing what he does. He kind of screws around with that Pine script. It does screwing around with Python. It's yeah. He does all that wallet stuff. He figured out that thing Swapnex pretty easily, and he did
Hutch,
that FTX thing.
Hutch, next, can you just figure out a way to hack the government? Hack the Fed? Shut
Right.
that bitch down. You can do it.
You think, huh?
Ishan has become a money grabber now. He's stealing money from his kids. Uh,
You guys got to be careful that it's that TRC20 USDT. If you send regular, uh, what is it, BEC or BER or whatever? If you send,
ERC,
yeah, ERC, and there's another one too. If you send
BEP.
anything besides that Tron TRC20, it's gone forever. You will, it's gone, gonzo.
So
Exactly.
make sure you do a test transaction first with like $10. Make sure it goes through and then do the exact same thing with the larger sum.
I'm gonna shut the
yeah,
recording off, Darth.
yeah, please.